Welcome back to One of Our Own. If you're only just discovering this series, we are trying to take Kettering into the Football League using nothing but our youth intakes and the players that we started with. It's the final game of the season today. I say it's the final game. There is still the sneakiest of outside chances of making the playoffs. We would need 3 other teams all to lose for us to steal that final place. But today, we've got a game against Fylde, and we have got much to catch you up on before we even start thinking about an impossible push for the playoffs. So since the last episode when we drew 2-2 with Chorley, results have been a little bit up and down. We followed up the Chorley draw with a 2-1 victory over Curzon Ashton. We needed a pretty late winner in order to get us over the line, as we did against Kidderminster, but the Kidderminster game was a little bit of a landmark occasion because for the first time, wait for it kids, one of our own was on the score sheet, and of course it was little McCall, a heck of a defensive mix-up back there. But he pounced on it and he slotted it past the keeper. We've had one of our own actually score in a game. That was a little bit of a milestone ticked off there, but then poor run. Lost against Telford, drew against Farsley, lost pretty badly against Bradford, and they're down towards the foot of the table, and lost to Southport as well. We started making some tactical changes. The 5-2-3 wasn't working. We played around a little bit, so we got a draw against Spennymoor. We beat Blythe. We beat Darlington. Narrow victories. And in these games, we were going a goal or 2 down before we were getting back into the game. I mean, the Darlington game is a case in point. We were 2-0 down after 90 seconds in that one and had to come scrambling back to try and get something. Joshua Scott with a hat-trick. By the way, we need to talk Joshua Scott. His loan is about to be up. This should be his last game for the club. But he seems pretty popular down in the comments, and I'm not going to lie to you, with 22 goals and 9 assists this season, I think we would have been a lot worse off without him. I'm pretty concerned about next season without him, so here's what I've done. Up there for thinking. I've renewed his loan for another year. Now I know we've said in previous episodes, we're not going to renew his loan for another year, but the comments seem to like him. There's plenty of comments saying Scott is one of our own, bring him back. So I've renewed it. But if people think that might be going against the very essence of the save, we can just send him back, because I removed that clause that said his loan could not be terminated. So here's what we're going for in the comment section for today's video. Very, very simple. Is Joshua Scott one of our own? Are we going to bring him back and play him next season? Potentially, if we're going to do that, we may as well declare him as a transfer target and try and sign this boy if the opportunity arises. So down in the comments, here's what we're after. Simple. Scott in, Scott out. If the majority of the comments are saying Scott in, then we've renewed his loan and we will play him. If the majority of the comments say Scott out, we'll cancel it, send him back on his way to Mansfield. No harm, no foul. In that last game, by the way, we had to scramble to get a 4-3 win again, this time against Gateshead. But you know who was on that score sheet again. He came on as a late sub. This was probably a better goal from the boy, to be honest. Little Sammy's in there, penalty spot. Volleys one home. Cross from Sheriff. So Sam McCall has now got 2 goals for us. So he is performing pretty nicely, if I'm honest. The finances are still looking reasonable going into the end of the season, nearly 70,000 in the kitty. We've also had another little win. We've been to the board for a second time, asking to improve our youth recruitment. Turned down. We went to them a third time. Hey presto, improved. Youth recruitment now up to average. Coupling that with average junior coaching, we're not looking too bad. We're going to need a bit more money in the kitty, I think, to improve those youth facilities. They're below average, which for this level, by the way, is splendid. But we would like to get them higher. I reckon we're going to need as much as $250,000 in the bank in order to facilitate that. One more bit of news to bring you up to date on. and that's with our staff. We've started to make some changes now, starting with a head of youth development. So we couldn't get a head of youth development with anything like a good personality. So we've done a little bit of a switcheroo and we've appointed a director of football as our head of youth development. I mean, he's all right as a head of youth development, but more importantly, he's got a fairly professional personality, as good as it seems that we can do. His tactical style is route one. I was hoping for a gegenpress, but I'm thinking with route one, he might prioritise looking for physically strong and powerful players, and I will take it. Also, his preferred formations seem to suggest that he might find players in all kinds of positions around the pitch that I might be able to just shuffle the pack if I'm not playing that exact formation. He's only got determination of 10, but I'm hoping that will be good enough to bring some better players through with better personalities. We've also brought in lots of new staff as coaches as well. We've also brought in a new assistant manager for the under-18s, Matt Oakley. Again, determination 13 and fairly professional. So when he's working on the new gens before they even come through with the youth intake, hopefully he can be influencing their personalities. And we've also brought in Lewis Moore, who primarily going to work with goalkeepers, I hope, but fairly professional again, determination of 14. I'm still on the lookout for an under-18s manager. I've not had anybody apply that's been suitable. I'd love to get one that is just full-on professional or resolute. But so far, we've got 2 under-18 staff in as fairly professional to replace the one member of staff we had that was only balanced. The head of youth development's fairly professional to replace the one that's balanced. And we've also now got new first team coaches that are described as fairly professional as well. So things are looking okay. We've got a couple more staff members to bring in. Hopefully it's going to make a little bit of a difference. We've done one other thing as well, by the way, that we should probably introduce you to. Somebody in the comments mentioned this, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but we're going to take a gamble on it. We've signed a scout. Now, we're not making any transfer signing, so we're not asking him to look for players to sign. Instead, we've got him touring the UK, set to look for 15 and 16-year-olds, because somebody said in the comments that your scout might be able to find players that your head of youth development hasn't that will be included in the youth intake. Not something I've ever heard of before, but we're going to give it a gamble and see whether it helps or not. By the way, the scout has determination 13 and is fairly professional as well. I doubt scouts influence the personalities of the people that they find, but just in case, we've gone with one with a decent personality. It's key for me going forward. We've made a tactical tweak as well. We have been shipping goals left, right and centre. I wanted to try and get somebody in to play in front of the defence. I tried that with the 5 at the back and really it wasn't working. That's where we were going 2-0 down after 90 seconds. So we're playing a flat back 4 for this game. We're going to try this out for the last game of the season. Kennedy's going to be just in front as the halfback, allowing both those fullbacks to bomb on. And we've still got our magical front 3. Stevens dropping deep, the Sheriff and Scotty as pressing forwards. Also, it means that we've now got 3 men playing in the centre of midfield. One of those, Richards, is injured after a sending off in a prior game. So we are giving a full start to the rookie today. He's training pretty nicely, by the way. The passing is already up to 5. Halcyon days indeed. He's making some improvements physically as well. He's slotting into the midfield today. Let's get out there and give it a go and see whether, by some miracle, we can qualify for the playoffs. There we go then. Teams are lining up. We are ready for the last game of the season. It might not be. You know, if all 3 of those teams above us lose and we do our bit, we could sneak in there. We could finish on 65 points and our goal difference is slightly better than a couple of those teams, but we can't have them picking up a point. We do need them to lose. But we'll just see how it goes. I'm not expecting anything, to be honest. I think if we finish 10th, it's been a pretty decent first season. Although not a great start to the game, but we're into the first highlight. Hunt's got the ball from a goal kick. Fryatt's lumped one forward. Oh, that is pretty easy for their defence. We've brought Wilson in as our right back today, by the way. Storr has been good, but he's more defensively minded. Wilson's more of a winger, really. I think he's got tackling a 2, but we're going to ask him to bomb on. Try and get some crosses in for that dangerous front 3, like the Sheriff, who has an early effort that stung the palms of the keeper, but he's not on target. The Sheriff, by the way, has been in pretty good form as well. We've managed to get everybody that we want to signed up for a contract. Some of the younger ones we've managed to get on 2-year deals because we know we're not going to be replacing them with anybody better. We've got our keeper signed up for a 2-year contract. He's going to have his 37th birthday soon, but we've got him signed up for 2 more seasons, and I'm hoping the fact that he's playing and the fact that he's got a contract waiting for him, as that's a beautiful finish from the Sheriff, chipped it over the keeper. Nice little dink. We're hoping the 2-year contract means that the keeper will just carry on playing, because what's coming through as backup for him is nowhere near as strong. It's the area we're weakest at. Second area we are weakest at, centre half. We've only really got 2 of them. Not great options have come through the youth intake. So that's another advantage of switching to 4 at the back, is that we only have to play those 2 centre halves. We're winning at half time. I think we want to point fingers and tell them not to get complacent. I'd like them to get the job done. I'll have a little peek at the table as well. Looks like Boston must be getting a point in their game. They are not losing, but we're doing okay. Filed a 3rd. Pretty good side. Turner's cleaning up at the back. So yeah, Colin signed up for next season and the season after, as long as he doesn't do one of these odd FM21 retire when there seems like no reason to retire, we'll be okay. It's the Sheriff again. What's he got with him? Oh, he has. He's got Scotty. Oh, Scotty's got lucky. I think that's going to be an own goal off the back of the keeper. Still see more of those in FM21 than you'd probably see in real life. I reckon that's probably our 2nd or 3rd of those in the season. But it means we're 2-0 up. Take it. Remember the comment section, by the way. Scott in, Scott out. I'm easy on it, to be honest. If we lose him and it means that next season's even tougher, I'm okay with that. But the comments for these videos have been by far the most commented on videos we've ever had on the channel. And everybody is saying, keep Scott. I don't want to get rid of a player if the chat think he is one of our own. The Rookster is not playing well, is he? I think we're swapping him out for Trevor Rooney. Shame that. That was the Rookster's big chance. He's not taking it. We're going to try and pick, I reckon, maybe 4 players that we are going to be playing semi-regularly next season. I don't think they need a lot of first-team football at 16 or 17. We've got to stop this next season, by the way. We concede a lot of aerial goals. But I think youth team football is going to be fine for them next season. More important that they do the training from everything that I've read. But we're just going to try and ease some of them in for the occasional substitute appearance. Maybe the occasional start. Certainly, I think getting Sammy McCall more involved is no bad thing. I actually think he's one of our better options. I think we're going to take Ben Stevens off. I think we're going to switch Scotty to the deep line forward. And we're going to bring McCall on. He's got 2 goals already. He's looked pretty dangerous, to be honest. He's fast. Good when we're counter-attacking. We need to get this ball away and counter-attack. Oh, we got away with one. Well, I've got 15 minutes left. Let's see whether little Sammy McCall can do anything. We're into the highlights again. Not won it, though. Aerially is a big area that I'd like to improve on. Getting that head of youth development that's Route 1, I'm hoping, might improve things. If he could bring in some aggressive, tall, aerially dominant players, that could be useful. Especially, giving it away. especially if they are centre halves, because we are struggling a little bit in that regards. We are going to change our mentality up to positive as well. Are we going to throw it away? We might not. Here we go. We got the sheriff. Come on, put our man through. Give it to McCall. Ah, he's gone himself. Greedy. And this game is looking like it's actually going to see us end up in 11th place. York are winning, so even if we'd have won this game, it wouldn't make a difference. To be honest, we've not deserved to win it, looking at the match stats. We've got one last chance to win it. We've been awarded a penalty. We've missed 4 penalties this season, amazingly. Milnes has missed one of them. Sheriff the other 3. He's tucked this one away for a win, though. He says, still with a minute of injury time to go, we might still give it away. Nice to finish the season on a victory, but again, look, we've conceded 2 goals. Defensively, we are porous. It is a worry for next season. You throw a young goalkeeper behind this defence and we are in all kinds of trouble. But I reckon that's good enough to finish the season with a nice team talk. Nobody gave us a chance. I suppose we've got to remember, the team we just played there are 3rd in the league and we've beaten them. And it allows us to finish where we started the day, down in 10th, 2 points off sneaking into those playoffs. If you'd have said that at the start of the season, probably, I'd have said that that was a decent return. What goals have we got checked off? We've improved the facilities, minor. We've improved the staff, important. We've got a better head of youth development, great. We've had a reasonable youth intake come through. We just need our next one to be of a similar standard with better personalities. Do you know what? I think we're in business. I think the Scottster could be important to us. We'll listen to your comments and see what we do with him. The Sheriff's going to be vital. The keeper in goal, Colin, is going to be vital as well. But I think we can keep developing these boys. And we will be back for our first game of next season. And we're going to try and give it a real go next season, not just to carry on chasing down those playoff places, but to carry on also developing one of our own.